Hey kids, it's time for some theological mathing. No, I'm not talking about mathing. That's numbers, and I don't do numbers. I'm talking about theological mathing, where we combine theology with logic and reason, and sometimes it uses some math operators, so I call it theological mathing. So let's try this. Our first theological mathing statement is, Paul is not equal to Jesus. That's right, Paul is not equal to Jesus. The reverse is true, of course, that Jesus is not equal to Paul. Remember, Paul is not equal to Jesus. Our second theological mapping statement is Jesus is greater than Paul. That also means that Paul is less than Jesus, but Jesus is greater than Paul. So, recapping, Paul is not equal to Jesus. Jesus is greater than Paul. Now, if you don't believe me, let's go to Paul's own words on the subject in 1 Corinthians 1:11 through 16, where Paul writes, "For it has been reported to me by Chloe's people that there are quarrels among you, my brothers and sisters." Ooh, Chloe's got people, and they're spilling the tea to Paul. Paul continues, "What I mean is that each of you says, I belong to Paul, or I belong to Apollos, or I belong to Cephas, or I belong to Christ. Has Christ been divided? Was Paul crucified for you? Or were you baptized in the name of Paul? I thank God I baptized none of you, except Crispus and Gaius, so that no one can say you were baptized in my name. I did baptize also the household of Stephanus, and beyond that, I do not know whether I baptized anyone else." You see, the church in Corinth was already confusing the messenger and the message and elevating Paul and the other apostles beyond what they were. Servants of God and Jesus Christ, servants like you and me. This is really important because I see so many fundamentalist Christians spend their time scouring Paul's letters to find ways to take his letters out of context and use them to subjugate women or clobber the LGBTQ plus community, just like slaveholders used Paul against chattel African slaves to tell them they should be satisfied with their lot in life. It's as if Jesus doesn't even exist for these folks, and they follow Paul as their Lord and Savior. Remember, Jesus was crucified for you. Paul said so. And remember, Paul is not equal to Jesus, and Jesus is greater than Paul.